family's triple homicide continues to haunt. Jennifer Short was the youngest child of Michael and Mary Short. Although Jennifer had 3 older brothers from her father's first marriage, she was the only child between Michael and Mary. They lived in Henry County, Virginia. Jennifer was a sweet girl with a typical loving relationship with her parents. The Shorts kept to themselves and were relatively quiet, but neighbors have said they were always friendly and kind. They were usually seen working outside on yard work and doing activities together. They seemed happy. Michael Short owned M.S Mobile Home Movers, a company that helped mobile homeowners relocate. M.S Mobile Home Movers had a rough year financially in 2002, though, and Michael was considering moving the family to South Carolina. The night of August 14, 2002, was like any other summer. In no way could anyone have predicted the horrific events that were about to occur. One of Michael's employees, Chris Thompson, came by that night, and they worked on Chris's car. Later in the evening, Chris left and returned to the motel where he was staying. There is no knowing as to what may have happened between the time when the Short family fell asleep and when they were found the following day. However, authorities believe they ate Burger King for dinner and retired to bed around midnight. The next day, Chris Thompson returned to Michael and Mary Short's residence at 9:00 a.m. His first thought when he walked up to the house was that Michael might be inside the garage working on a project, or that he might still be asleep. Everyone knew Michael Short sometimes slept in the garage because his loud snores would wake Mary. Therefore, Chris wasn't surprised when he found Michael sleeping on the couch, or at least he thought Michael was asleep. When Chris walked closer to Michael's body, he realized Michael was dead. A single gunshot killed him. Police arrived and confirmed they had located another body. Mary Short had also been shot in the head while lying in bed. There was no sign of Michael and Mary's daughter. Jennifer wasn't there. On August 23, 2002, Michael and Mary Short's bodies were finally buried, but Jennifer's disappearance remained a mystery. Almost the entire state of Virginia was in a state of wonder as to what had happened to Jennifer. Investigators filmed the funeral in an attempt to catch suspicious behavior. The investigators thought maybe the murderer would show up, but after reviewing the footage, they didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Jennifer was scheduled to begin 4th grade at Figsboro Elementary School that coming year. Despite Jennifer's absence at the beginning of the school year, her 4th grade teacher still put her name on her desk. By keeping Jennifer's name on her desk, she wanted to give the children hope that she would return. A gruesome discovery was about to be made in North Carolina, and Figsboro Elementary School's 4th grade class hopes were sadly dashed. Stoneville, North Carolina is about an hour from where the Shorts lived in Oakville, Virginia. While walking his dog in September of 2002, Eddie Albert received a strange present from his dog: hair. Assuming it was wig hair, Eddie Albert threw it away. Eddie had another surprise waiting for him a few days later when his dog returned with a human skull. When police arrived at Eddie Albert's house, he pointed out the skull and the hair he thought was from a wig. After a massive search, investigators discovered more remains of what appeared to be a small child. All in all, investigators only recovered about a quarter of the body. The remainder of the bones and fragments were uncovered near a pond. A week after investigators sent in a DNA sample, the remains found in Stoneville were positively identified as those of Jennifer Short. It took investigators 2 weeks to search Michael and Mary Short's home after their murders. Since no sign of struggle was evident, investigators concluded that Michael and Mary were shot while sleeping. According to investigators, Michael and Mary had been shot execution style with a small caliber weapon after shell casings for a .22 caliber pistol were found in the home. Likewise, Jennifer was executed similarly to her parents. Jennifer's body was too decomposed to confirm any signs of sexual assault. There was nothing out of place except that Jennifer's mattress was skewed on her bed and a pillow was on the floor. Authorities discovered a chilling clue to these cold-blooded murders while searching the Short property. The phone lines were cut. Killing the Short family required meticulous planning on the part of the murderer. Michael Short's body was exhumed on September 4, 2002. Rumors spread that Michael was not Jennifer's biological father, thus the reason for exhumation. According to the sheriff, the only reason for the exhumation was to obtain hairs from Michael that the medical examiner did not take during his autopsy. However, the sheriff refused to confirm if Jennifer was Michael's biological daughter, which added fuel to the speculation. After the sheriff announced that he was looking into Mary's case and talking to some of her former co-workers, even more rumors began to spread. Several old photos of Mary from 1992 and 1993 were released by law enforcement in the hopes that the pictures would jog someone's memory of her. Early in the 1990s, Mary allegedly had a stalker who had to be told several times to leave her workplace. According to one theory, this mysterious stalker was Jennifer's biological father. Nobody knew who this man was. All authorities knew was that he was angry with Mary and had to be escorted from her workplace in 1992. He then drove off in a white pickup truck. Investigators found no evidence that Mary had filed any restraining or protective orders against anyone in 1992 or 1993. The idea that the mystery man was Jennifer's father weakened after her body was found. After confirming that Michael was indeed Jennifer's biological father, the sheriff apologized to the Shorts' family and friends for not verifying this earlier. Michael's co-worker, Christopher Thompson, who was the one who discovered the bodies, was cleared of all suspicions and was enormously helpful during the investigation. However, after Jennifer's body was found in Stoneville, North Carolina, a man caught investigators' attention: Garrison S. Bauman. Garrison S. Bauman lived in a mobile home near the bridge where Jennifer's body was discovered. Following the murders, Bauman's landlord, Gary Lemons, contacted the Henry County Sheriff's Office. Gary Lemons claimed he saw Bauman with a pistol on August 15th, the day of the murders. Bauman left for Canada the next day, and Gary Lemons had no idea where Bauman's mobile home was. Moreover, Garrison allegedly told his landlord he had hired someone to move his mobile home from Virginia. According to Gary Lemons, Bauman threatened to kill the man he hired if he did not do the job correctly. Investigators discovered the missing mobile home on the property of Bauman's friend John Beasley. He told Bauman he could leave the mobile home on his property while he traveled to Canada. According to Beasley, Bauman asked if he could store his home on his property due to a dispute with his landlord, Gary Lemons. John Beasley's property just happened to be about 1 mile from where Jennifer's body was found. After being arrested in Canada for driving under the influence and violating various immigration laws, Bauman was extradited to the United States. Upon his return to the United States, Bauman was held in police custody until October 30th, 2002, when he was released on his own recognizance. In November 2002, Bauman appeared in court for a grand jury hearing regarding the Short family murders. As a result of insufficient evidence, the jury decided not to indict Bauman for the triple homicide. Bauman has always maintained his innocence despite the rumors. The spotlight started to move off him in 2005 after news broke that 2 witnesses had lied to investigators. When Tim Sampson and Jerry Mills were scoping out houses to burglarize on August 15, 2002, they saw a man carrying a girl's body. According to Sampson and Mills, this man looked like Abraham Lincoln, and Bauman had a similar appearance. In the end, the men only wanted the reward money. After naming Bauman as a suspect, they threatened 2 police officers when they didn't receive any money from the fund. Garrison Bauman was cleared of all suspicions 2 years later and died in 2014. 1 year after Jennifer's body was discovered, investigators exhumed her remains. Investigators hoped to find more evidence. There was no progress on the case between 2007 and 2009. Investigators released several sketches related to the murder of Michael, Mary, and Jennifer in 2009. The first sketch involved a man seen around the Short family home before the murder. A witness described the man as weathered and around 40 years of age. Another composite sketch was released showing a white flatbed truck spotted near the Shorts' home the morning of the murders. As of 2019, the cold case has begun to heat up. In 2002, the city auctioned off the Short family home in Oakville. However, it was abandoned and forgotten until February 2019, when it caught fire. All that remained of the house was its frame after the inferno burned it down. In 2021, a new investigation was launched into Michael, Mary, and Jennifer Short's murders. New technologies and expanded databases might hold the answer to who murdered the Short family, according to investigators. There was no evidence of robbery in the house when the murders occurred. Why were Michael and Mary killed and Jennifer taken from the home and then found dead in North Carolina 6 weeks later? Were Jennifer's parents merely obstacles in the killer's path to Jennifer, or were they the sole target? A reward of close to $65,000 is available for information leading to an arrest. Investigators want to speak with anyone who had contact with Jennifer between June 1st, 2002 and August 14th, 2002. Police would like to talk with everyone again, even if they have already been interviewed. Michael Short's sister, Carolyn Short, sometimes reflects on her family's loss. When she thinks about Jennifer now, she imagines what Jennifer would be if she were alive. Her brother's killer haunts her too. She hopes the investigators' diligent work will pay off so they can figure out why 3 members of her family were brutally slain one summer night in 2002. So there you have it. Why do you think the Short family was murdered? Was Jennifer the primary target? Did Garrison Bauman actually have something to do with the murders? Let us know in the comments below. If you appreciated this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more true crime coverage. Thanks for watching, and see you soon in the next video.